Hello and welcome to the March Outturn Podcast from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. You're thinking about doing a tasting with cats.
The idea is for me to go to a cat cafe.
Pour some whiskey in their water bowls.
Well, they'd be some happy cats, wouldn't they? Stuff the catnip, give me whiskey.
When we started doing any international whiskies, members apparently were like, this is the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. Now,
They'd be biting your hand
they
off.
would be
for
biting
Japanese
your
whiskey.
hand off.
We're here to talk about whiskey and there's so much to talk about, but a lot of time whiskey is just a means for socialising and stimulating conversations. You don't have to just talk about whiskey, and then it'll lead you off in different directions and we'll have lots of different conversations. I hate to say it, but it can get a bit boring if you only talk about whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, let's talk about whiskey, Calum. Richard Gosselin, your host as usual, joined by my trusty sidekick,
Good evening, good afternoon, and salutations.
Calum Lawson, and very happy to be joined by Lucy Connor today, hot-footed over from Edinburgh, where you're usually working at the Vaults, right?
Indeed, happy to be here.
Nice to have you over here in the studio in Uddingston. Lucy, we've got lots to get through today, some great whiskey to taste that's coming out in March, but you know, we like to find out a wee bit about our guests and, you know, how they got into whiskey in the first place. So tell us a wee bit about that.
Well, it goes way back to being a kid, to be honest. My first experience with whiskey was my dad drinking it every Saturday night. He'd always have a wee dram. It'd be his final little drink before bed. And I never drank it. But I did enjoy the smell of it.
Okay.
The smell of whiskey is the thing I probably love the most about it. So I always associate it with that lovely childhood memory of
Nice.
smelling my dad's whiskey. But I started working at the Scotch Whisky Experience in the shop just before COVID. Graduated to a tour guide afterwards as well. Just absolutely fell in love with the stuff, so I did. The more I talked about it, the more I learned about it, the more I loved it.
Right. And that led to a position with the Scotch Malt Whisky
It
Society.
did indeed, yeah. Bar staff, whisky ambassador, what more could you hope for?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, taking tastings is probably my favourite thing to do as well. Just talking about whisky and sharing stories with people all across the world. So.
Right, excellent. Well, we can talk about whiskey today.
Well, we'll give it our best go.
Aye.
How old were you when you had your first sip of your father's whiskey?
Oh, I was 18 actually.
You don't have to say that because we're...
I was. My first ever whisky, I went to Dalwhinnie Distillery when I was on an archaeological field school. That was my first ever dram. Went home and then I had my first one with my dad after that.
Right.
What does archaeology field school involve? You're outside digging around in
Yes.
in the dirt?
Indeed. So that one there was more of a landscape survey. So it was more kind of using like GPS tracking and a lot of measuring holes in the ground.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be next to Dalwhinnie Distillery?
It did, yeah. I mean, it'd be rude not to.
Yeah. I guess a whiskey tastes magic after that.
It certainly did, yes. I bought a little bottle as well. It did me the final week. So I'd go out in the cold, get rained on and mud all up me, come back, and there was a fire in this lodge we were staying at as well. So I'd take my wee bottle, sit by the fire.
Dalwhinnie not known as one of the coldest
like
distillery in Scotland?
The coldest, the highest above sea level.
I think
Yeah.
another distillery kind of disputes that.
Everything's always disputed.
I know,
a
there's
little
always
bit,
someone else saying, no, but it's right up there anyway.
It certainly is, yeah.
Very exposed.
It was beautiful as well, my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. And I've been intrigued by some of the tastings that you've been doing at the Vaults that have caught our attention. Dramaste is the name of one of them.
Is that how you say it?
Well,
I would say oh no, I'm going to mess it up now.
I'm thinking Namaste, right?
Namaste.
Dramaste.
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 So what's Dramaste? Dramaste.
So it
Like,
is
It's nothing to do with drama.
quite the
It's a
opposite.
drama workshop while having whiskey.
It's all about
Lots of jazz
slowing down. So we're taking our time, and I do little visualization, meditation exercises with the groups as well.
Benefit from one of these tastings.
I need a bit of this.
He's
Indeed,
trying to
brings
get
a zen.
harnesses
Right,
in our...
okay. Slow it down.
Indeed.
Meditate.
Yeah, we do it all by candlelight as well,
Okay.
generally in smaller groups, just to make it a little bit more intimate, a little bit more calming.
Yeah.
When we are kind of putting dates in the diary, try to go for a busy, hectic time. So we did one in the middle of the Fringe Festival, and then one just at the start of December as silly season was beginning as well, just to give people a wee chance to just come in, slow down, relax, and take a wee breath and a dram.
I like the sound of it. What does it mean in terms of what you're getting from the whiskey? Is it just about taking a bit more time and being a bit more mindful about
It is,
what's in your glass?
Definitely. I think as well, because I associate so much joy coming from the aroma of whiskey. That's the part of the tasting that I decide to do these little meditations on as well.
Yeah.
So I know that everyone comes in to a tasting, you're excited, we're going to try some whiskey, amazing, fabulous. And I'm saying, back guys, let's have a little smell first.
Yeah.
Let's see really what we're getting.
Okay.
Try and evoke some memories as well. And yeah.
Is it like just the kind of the theme of it, or are you actually encouraging people to do meditation while they're having their whiskey?
Yeah, so I do kind of guide it to a point. When I have kind of maybe that final whiskey, I maybe encourage them to go off in their own direction. But generally what I'll do is I'll look at a bottle of whiskey, I'll look at the name, the flavour descriptions, I'll of course try it beforehand. And based off the aroma, the flavour, the description, the name and the distillery it comes from, I'll piece together a wee story and I'll kind of guide everyone through it, walking step by step.
Nice.
And encourage you to kind of smell things as if you were there as well.
You don't have to sit cross-legged and like that, do you?
No, we sit upright. I get everyone to give their fingers a wee wiggle, their toes a wiggle.
Have
Have you never tried meditation?
Not like that, you know. I'm not flexible enough to get into that. Can you do a cross-legged?
Not really, not
pose?
very well.
No.
I could get close.
It's one of these things I think you need to be kind of born and raised doing that. You can't start.
I'm sure you could work on it and gain that
work
flexibility.
Flexibility can be gained.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I can't do it with you sitting next to me, but
No.
that's probably about as good as I could get.
There we are.
Yeah, I could probably get there, but
Right, shall we have a whiskey then? And then you can
Right,
give us
okay.
an idea of what...
now I can't move.
Oh, yes.
Right, okay.
Do you feel relaxed?
Open
I
that up,
don't.
you see.
I feel like I'm in pain.
See, sitting on the floor, that's the worst thing. At least I got something in my
Why
back
did we
here.
why did we just try and sit in a relaxed position? And
Now I can't move, Calum.
you're fine. I've got much longer legs than you.
Right.
Right.
So, okay, fill up, Calum.
I'll
do you first?
Yeah. We'll go like this. You first,
Oh, thank you.
and you can maybe pass me another glass.
We're also talking about your involvement with our Whisky Foundation.
Thank you.
And March is International Women's Day. So we're celebrating that again this year with, I think we've got 4 special releases. They've all got a International Women's Day stamp on them, and this is one of them. I think 2 are venue exclusives. We don't have those here, but in the venues we're going to have a couple 71 109, a Nordic Kranichen, and 53.496, a mouth drying sauna. But this is one of the ones that's available online, 10.282 sweetness and darkness, right? So while we nose that and get into a mindful state, tell us a wee bit about your involvement with our Whisky Foundation.
Yeah, so they're currently redoing the mentorship program. They're kind of relaunching it as the Atonia program.
Yeah.
So when I did it, it was 25 women were selected from across the world to do it, and you were paired with a mentor who would best help you to kind of progress in your career.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky. I got paired with the lovely Fraser Campbell. He used to be global brand ambassador with Dewar's.
Okay.
So I got a lot of really good advice. It was actually himself that kind of encouraged me to take the job at the vaults as well, because I was looking at a few and I was like, this one does look really good, and he was like, this is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely phenomenal for me as well. I've had so many opportunities and experiences
Through the foundation, through the program.
the programme, through joining the vaults as well.
Okay.
But we had monthly workshops that kind of aimed at increasing your confidence. I remember the first set of workshops with the academy. So it's all about kind of increasing your confidence, and she encouraged us as well, the lady who was taking it, to kind of go into work and have these conversations that you were maybe a wee bit too afraid to have, to say, actually, I want to do that, and this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And at the end, we all got up and shook our bums at the camera.
Right, very good.
So that was really good fun. But it was really nice as well, because we'd always set time aside to catch up with each other.
Yeah.
And it was a completely confidential kind of hour in your week that you got to say, well, I've got this going on, and can I get any advice on how to deal with that? And then the next week you come back and you go, so how did that go? And you say, oh, it went quite well. This is what happened. This is what we talked about, and these are the next steps. So it was a very encouraging environment to be in as well, which is lovely.
And the foundation is all about promoting women within the whiskey world, right?
Yes, yeah.
Giving them a career path and different forms of development and that mentorship as well, to give them good advice and,
No,
try and set them on
absolutely.
the right path.
Yeah, because they try as best as they can to kind of choose women who are at a point in their career where they're doing well, but they've reached that kind of standstill, and you just can't quite take that next step. You're maybe not too sure how to or where to go, but you've got that goal in mind. So they kind of help as best as they can to help you achieve that. And then following that, you've got a lovely network of women all across the world. We've got so many WhatsApp group chats.
Yeah.
We've got one for your Central Belt, one for UK, worldwide. It's a health and fitness one.
It's a proper global programme, right?
It really is, yeah. They do their house party every year at Spirit of Speyside, and as many of us as possible try and go up there as well for that, which is really
You want to
lovely.
head up for that then?
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
If I get tickets.
Brilliant. No, it sounds. I think we've had a few people within the society who've been part of the programme and all speak very highly of it. Have benefited a lot from the mentors that they've worked with.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal experience. It really is. I'd encourage anyone to do it. It's a fantastic wee 6 months. I remember for one of the workshops I was on holiday away in Turkey, and I joined sitting there with a wee cocktail, and they're like, wow, you're awfully dedicated. I was like, well, it's good fun as well, isn't it? I'm learning, I'm chatting to you guys. I don't mind taking a wee hour out my holiday.
Yeah, quite right.
Still got my cocktails on the side.
Yeah. Well, the bottles that we've got, the 4 bottles, a percentage of what we make from the bottles is going to the foundation, so that's a good thing.
Certainly is.
We're doing our wee bit for our Whisky Foundation and promoting International Women's Day, and the bottles were like an all-female tasting panel, wasn't it? That because we've done that the past few years.
Yep.
Amazing.
So all-female noses on the panel. They've approved these bottles for International Women's Day in our Whisky Foundation.
Amazing.
So let's
See if we agree.
shall we see if we agree? No, it's terrible.
What do they know?
I was just being mindful on the nose. It was like that appreciation of the aroma before you even taste the whiskey.
Oh, it's pretty full on,
It
isn't
smells
it?
magic,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
And this isn't bourbon into Oloroso, but I mean, it smells. I mean, it smells like that kind of thick, richness from it already. I mean, I've not even tried it yet. You know?
Yeah,
Robust and treacly.
yeah,
But it's a wee bit of spice as
yeah,
well.
treacly.
Like I already want to add water to it because I know it's going to be. But
Right.
I'll not yet.
No, give it a wee
Give it
try.
a try first.
Right, cheers. Oh, it's tremendous.
Very good.
An Isla distillery.
Isla Distillery, which is known for peated and unpeated. This is the sweet and spicy flavour profile.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch my breath because it's pretty strong as well, 61.3%. It's full on in all respects.
Indeed.
And as I said, it's bourbon into Oloroso, but yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. But the Oloroso influence is,
I'm going to add a tiny bit of
is
water
full on, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very full on.
It's nice and dry.
Yeah.
So if you were doing one of your whiskey workshops for the Dramaste, would you just be? So we'd be sitting here, right? You want any water?
Yes, please.
Doesn't maybe need a bit of water.
Yeah, so for these tastings,
Water if you want it, Lucy.
oh, thank you. I always have, first of all, I have everybody with their dram in their hand, because the next thing that we do is we close our eyes.
Okay.
So just so there's no knocking over whiskies.
Right, well, you can cheat a little bit here. Have you got tasting notes for this one? Just so it doesn't feel too on the spot.
Borderless.
Well, you and I, we'll get into the spirit of things and
Right.
close our eyes.
We'll
And,
do our best.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, I know exactly where we're off
Don't ask me
to.
to do the cross-legged thing again.
no, just I won't make any faces behind you when you're. Is you got his eyes closed as well?
Indeed. All right,
You
we're
can
ready.
Keep us ready.
Yeah.
So, nosing your whiskey, I want you to think of somewhere nice, warm and inviting. We're in a bit of a cold snap just now. It's pretty chilly outside. It's raining quite a lot. Let's head into the vaults, shall we?
Okay.
Let's go back to my home. Shh. Now, this whiskey, it's quite rich, quite warm, quite spicy. It reminds you of walking into the vaults. Both fireplaces on full blast. The room is wonderfully warm.
Leather armchairs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm sitting in a leather. I'm actually sitting in a leather armchair.
I'm getting a bit of that furniture.
That's not real
polish.
leather, though, is it?
You know, the
Yeah.
the wooden bar,
Yeah, yeah.
freshly polished.
Indeed, we might have just brassoed as
Yes. the brass rail is
All
gleaming.
spick and span
Yeah.
and
Indeed.
Balls.
You might get a slight oaky note as well coming from the fires. Maybe a slight sea salt note. Chef has been cooking fish and chips, of course.
Good.
We've got all those lovely warming, maybe treacle tarts being served. We can smell them. They've just been heated in the oven as well.
Yeah.
Whiskey is flowing. It's rich, it's shared, it's exactly what you want. You might even be able to smell the Christmas tree we had up as well.
Yeah, wee bit of pine.
But with that in mind, go ahead, try your whiskey.
Okay.
So this is where I like to encourage you to let the whiskey warm yourself. Relax into your seat, let yourself sink into it as well.
I'm gonna get too relaxed.
It's where I have people wiggle their fingers and toes.
Okay.
But this is the point
Nice,
where we
yeah.
let you enjoy that dram. We generally also have a wee conversation about it as well, and just encourage a wee bit of conversation.
I'm getting the dessert that the chef is cooking up there.
I'm not here right now. I'm somewhere else for sure.
Like ginger cake.
It's like spiced apple or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
lovely. Yeah, kind of
Apple
spicy
crumble.
dessert. Yeah. Yeah, a bit of caramel over the top. Banoffee.
Is that your happy place when we have to go to as it comes to the food?
Yeah.
Quite right.
Mm.
I should know that already.
When can we stop opening?
I was about to say, yeah.
You could open your eyes, don't
Right,
worry.
okay.
I had my eyes the whole time.
I quite like that though, because when I do nose and taste and I'm trying to concentrate on the whiskey, I always close my eyes.
Yes,
I
me too.
find it really difficult. Yeah, I find it really difficult to kind of capture what's going on in the glass if
Yeah.
I don't close my eyes.
We're so easily influenced as well, though, you know.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I'm exactly the same. I'm one for always having a few snacks around me. So if I'm sitting there in my living room smelling my whiskey, I'm like, a packet of penguins over there. It's a bit chocolatey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got some salt of vinegar crisp. Maybe there's no salt in this.
Yeah.
I always do that sort of thing as well, and I even find myself, I've probably said this before, but the flavour profiles, because of the colour of the flavour profile.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the bottle, I start imagining things that are that colour as well.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
we've got a good example of that coming up, which we'll save for a wee bit, but it's very colour driven, and even the tasting notes ended up being colour driven.
My goodness.
That was really,
come
that was
to
really
that.
cool. That
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I always do it blind as well, so there's a big reveal as to
Perfect.
what the whiskey is.
Ah,
But
okay.
And
I
are people always on board with that? I know from doing tastings that it can be quite hard to keep people, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I always like to encourage that conversation as
Yeah.
well, because whiskey's all about getting together with your friends
Yeah.
and having a wee chat. But at the end of the tasting, I always set aside 10 minutes for a kind of I call it a shutdown meditation,
Uh-huh.
and you relax each part of your body, like each individual muscle in your finger, like one by one, and I guide everyone
yeah.
through that. And that is the point where we're all sitting up like,
So have you done quite a lot of like meditation and do you things like yoga and stuff like that before?
yeah. So I used to follow along little meditations on Headspace over COVID. Thank you.
Ready?
But they were something I kind of looked into initially to deal with anxiety, and then I just continued doing them out of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But I kind of tried to employ those kind of similar meditations in Dramaste, but make them a little bit more whiskey oriented.
Yeah. Well, this is another bottle that we've done for International Women's Day, again with some of the proceeds going towards our Whisky Foundation. Something completely different.
Now for something completely different.
Now for something completely different.
So yeah. So this is from Distillery 122.
One of our favourites, Calum.
Exactly. We've had it last couple of months, but
Yep.
and we always rave about it.
We always rave about
about the place and the distillery, and
Yes.
but I don't think the last two have been peated.
No.
Who knows? I can't remember. But so this one's 8 years old. As I said, 122.78. It's called Divide and Conquer. Initially into bourbon cask, and then into a second fill Oloroso hogshead. So probably slightly more subtle Oloroso in terms of the last one, because that was
Yeah.
lovely but very full on. But again, this one's going to be peated, so
Yeah.
it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
What you're getting so far.
It's quite farmyardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite funky. I like it.
That kind of wee funky note, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
Welly boots and silage.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
and that distillery, because there's two in that island. This one's not known for peated whiskey, but it does do a small run of peated whiskey. So I've not had a lot of peated whiskey from
No.
that distillery. really interesting.
Well, it now has its other distillery, which is
focused.
exclusively
Yeah, yeah.
producing peated spirit.
That's like it's herbaceous and it's kind of like like big bushes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite oily as well in the nose. Quite tarry.
Do you
Sticky.
find it takes you to like a specific place?
Nice farm out by the seaside. I think there's a slight hint of salt in there on the nose. Very delicate, but definitely there.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously peated,
There's
it's
acidity
smoky,
to it as well, yeah.
but
It's interesting sometimes with peated whiskey, the difference between on the nose and on the palate. Like sometimes you'll get a lot of smoke and peat on the nose, and then you try it, and then you see.
much more on the nose than on the palate for me.
Well, there you go. Perfect example.
And a kind of sweet smoke as well. It doesn't have any of the kind of medicinal edge that you might expect from Isla.
It is farmyardy as well, though, isn't it? But it's not medicinal.
It's nice countryside.
Yeah, it's really, really
fresh.
nice. It is fresh, yeah.
Island drinking.
Yeah, lovely.
You'd have that in your hip flask, wouldn't you?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, yes.
A wee saunter up Glen Rosa,
Oh, yes.
something like that.
You're giving clues now.
Oh, well, yes.
I'm not as subtle as you are.
No, I think we're ready to get into anything.
That's really nice. I like that a lot.
Do you know this island?
Never been.
Never
but
been.
Have you not?
Oh,
We'll get there. I hope to do a little bit of island hopping one day.
And what have you been to any islands? Or?
I've been to Mull. I dug a big
Okay.
hole and found nothing.
okay.
Got covered in mud though.
Was that just for fun, or was it part of
It was
archaeology as well?
archaeology, yeah. I paid to go and do it. Yeah, I
good.
did find bedrock. Very close to the surface. It's about 5 inches down.
Okay.
Right, okay.
There you go.
Well,
How do you keep your spirits up if you're out digging and there's no guarantee you're going to find something, but you've just got to persist and be optimistic?
Yeah, I mean, I think camaraderie, definitely. I mean, we always had a good chat, a good laugh. The ones that I was on as well. So I went on digs with a company called Harp Archaeology, and they mostly do UK digs. They do a couple in Europe as well, with Cyprus. But a lot of the people who attended were from abroad, like from the States and Europe and stuff. So you kind of get to know each other as you go along. You have your own wee jokes. We used to make memes as well. It's like, so when we were on Mull, we had a tent, but it blew down because we were on Mull.
so you in a tent as well.
We did, but when that blew down, one of the lovely local farmers gave us a horse trailer. So we'd go and we'd have our tea, coffee and lunch in a lovely horse trailer.
Yeah, maybe you're getting notes of horse training.
I think I am. But you'd run up the hill, you go, yes, lunch is coming.
You get the horse trailer thing though, for sure.
There is a distinct note on the nose.
That sounds quite hardcore.
Yeah, you get battered
out
with the
in the
wind and rain, indeed.
Attacked by midges.
Oh my god, yes. You get your big midgie net on. At first, I was a fashionable teen. I was like, I don't need a midgie net.
Yeah.
By the end, I was like,
Yeah.
right,
When
who
it's
stole
bad,
my
it's-
midgie net?
it's nothing worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you'll need to visit some more islands. that's for sure.
100% Isla for sure. I need to
Yeah.
get there.
They're all
I mean, Isla's more of a trek, but this one's relatively easy to get to.
Not too bad,
There's
yeah.
even a new ferry.
Oh,
Don't know how well it's working.
I don't know how well that's working. But
Let's not get into ferry chat. Anyway, it's quite handy, and it's a brilliant island, and they make brilliant whiskey. So that's the second bottle that we've got for International Women's Day, and there's 2 more bottles which are available at the members' rooms. So well worth checking out. Good
Indeed.
cause,
Yes.
great whiskies, fantastic.
and we've got is there an event happening as well?
yeah. I know that myself and my colleague Beth are going to take the International Women's Day tasting in March. I think it's the 8th of March. We're doing it on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So definitely one to look
They've been
out
running
for.
those for a couple of years and they've been really popular.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to do a wee tag team, but do come and talk to me at the vaults. I'll chat your ear off about these drams.
I think the other venues are also doing
Yeah.
special events for International Women's Day, so look out for those. And we do have a feature about you, Lucy, in Unfiltered, the digital issue in March. And we've got a return to print in March. And there was such a good picture of you sitting cross-legged on the bar at the vaults
Yeah.
that we've thought, why not use that in the print magazine?
Did you know,
Amazing.
you were in the print magazine, yeah?
I did, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you knew that already?
You and a spaceman.
Yeah, there may or
Yeah.
may not be a picture of my cat as well.
The cat is in the digital.
What's the cat chat then?
Well, well. Of course, I love cats. I used to, in my old job, I was a crazy cat lady. They used to have little silhouettes of black cats around the buildings to kind of pay homage to the distillery cats, our mousers back in the day. And as tourists would come along, they say, "What's the deal with a cat?" They go, "Talk to her." And I'd be like, "Hello." So I've got so many stories about distillery cats. But myself and my cat, we run a little Instagram, a whiskygram, I think.
Do you?
Okay.
Did you know this?
No, I had no idea.
Oh, it's me and my cat.
You're not on Instagram, are you?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, I love a bit of Instagram,
Yeah.
so I do. So does my cat. He loves modelling whiskies
what's
as
the cat
well.
called?
He's called Toast.
Toast.
Any whiskey in our society that has the word toast in it, I buy. Tempura Toast in the February Outturn.
yeah.
Bought that immediately. I was like, I have to.
That was a nice
Stunning whiskey as well.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah, we kind of chat about distilleries together.
Why is
about
it called
different
toast?
whiskies. I was supposed to have two, and there were going to be beans on toast. So when they lay on top of each other, it could be beans on toast or toast on beans. You dropped it on the floor.
I basically grew up on beans on toast, but yeah.
Oh, I literally had some yesterday for my lunch. I love it. Last night as well, I had a slice of toast with toast.
Right. How many followers does Toast have?
I think we're around 700 now.
What?
We're not too bad, yeah.
That's more than us, Richard.
Yes.
Well, I'm lucky if I get 7.
I mean on here.
But yeah, no, most of it
He's
is
an Instagram star.
indeed. It's pictures of toast
got him on
modelling
as well.
whiskey.
I know.
Absolutely. He does love the smell of it. Like, I let him smell it. He goes, "Oh, huh?" And I'm like, "Son, just admit you like it."
Yeah, yeah.
But I write the little post kind of in his voice as well, to kind of give whiskey a kind of, it gives it a fun edge. It makes it kind of, fun and accessible to the masses.
What's Toast's Instagram name?
We are deviously delicious drams.
Okay.
Because they are deviously delicious. They are amazing. I love whiskey so much. So yeah.
That's great.
And you're thinking about doing a tasting with cats.
I am indeed, yes. We're hoping to get together with a cat cafe.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm so excited, honestly. I'm like, make it happen. But the idea is for me to go to a cat cafe.
Pour some whiskey in their water bowls.
Well, they'd be some happy cats, wouldn't they? Stuff the catnip, give me whiskey. Peated, please. But the idea is for me to go along with whiskies from distilleries that maybe have distillery cats as well. Share some of their stories surrounded by cats as well.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I think you're coming up with some really interesting
Yeah.
concepts for
It's
tasting.
not just cats, the dogs as well.
Indeed,
Tell us about the
yes,
dogs.
yes. So our lovely events coordinator, Belen, she has put together a tasting working with Dogs Trust to have some guide dogs come in. It's due to happen in April, and we're going to do a whiskey tasting, meet some guide dogs, and hopefully raise enough money so that society can sponsor a dog as well, and we can name it.
That's amazing. The society would have its own guide dog
Indeed.
with a suitable whiskey name.
great.
How good is that?
That's it. These are all great concepts, and it is quite hard. We do so many tastings all the time, and it's hard to come up with new, fun, interesting ideas. But these are all fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dramaste, cat tasting.
Combine them all.
Guide dogs, puppies and whiskey,
All live on the gram.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant. Right, fantastic. Well, we've got a few bottles to get through.
We're on
so
this one here, yeah.
This,
It's into international now.
well, we've got IWD in March, which is International Women's Day, and we also have IWD in March, which is International Whiskey Day.
Indeed.
Right, we've got 2 IWDs.
Easily to get confused.
It's easy to get confused, but we're all over both of them with the bottles for International Women's
We're not
Day.
combine the two. International Women's Whiskey Day.
Wow, it's all.
I mean, I think there
combined.
should be one,
So, International Whiskey Day, obviously a celebration of international whiskey. I think it was originally set up in celebration of the whiskey writer Michael Jackson, who's no longer with us, but, a huge influence on anyone who's written about whiskey. He was the guy who really, didn't start it, but kind of took it to a new level. So I think the day is to kind of celebrate his life and work writing about beer and whiskey. And we thought, let's do some international whiskey. It's 153.3 Dynamical botanicals.
You're good at reading upside down.
It's not easy, actually.
Should try using our card readers at work. Everyone's like, how did you press those buttons upside down? Like, oh, you get used to it. What can I say? What can I say?
I'm struggling. But this is a Danish whiskey,
Danish whiskey, yeah.
right? So only the third cask we've seen, and I don't think we've actually seen the first two casks. The first one was definitely an exclusive for Denmark.
Yeah.
So we never got a sniff of that.
Yeah.
That was just for the...
Literally.
Literally not a sniff. Cask number 2 kind of passed me by as well. I don't know if that came out in the UK. But we do have cask number 3. Danish whiskey.
Yes.
Never tried this before. So.
No, I've not tried it. I'm just having a nose of it already. It's drastically, it's very different.
Whoa.
It's very floral and aftershavey.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting thyme or some very, very herbal notes.
It's very herbal,
the big difference in this is the way that
but nice medicine,
Yeah.
so they don't actually use
Wintergreen.
There's no peat when they smoke this whiskey.
No.
It's beechwood,
Oh.
which is new to me. But I knew that before I nosed it, but like instantly when I nose it, it's so different. It's like
so different.
It reminds me of like maybe like burning potpourri or something like that. Kind of, it's very spicy. It's kind of spicy smoke almost.
Yeah. It's so different.
Whoa. It's very different.
Because
fragrant is the word I was probably going for.
Because it's definitely, it's smoky, but it's not peaty.
No.
It's got a
It's definitely not medicinal.
Very delicate.
And it's not like bonfire smoke.
No.
It's literally, it's like a fragrant, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, isn't it?
It's quite a herbal kind of smoke as well, eh?
I'm getting like burnt herbs, thyme.
Yeah.
I don't know what other herbs, but you know.
And it's interesting because there's a lot of chat about the sustainability of peat
Yes.
what the future holds. So very interesting to try. And do you know what? That is delicious.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I find that fascinating actually.
Yeah. It's basically it's a farm distillery in Denmark. I would say the name, but I can't even start.
Oh no,
you're going to give it a shot, Calum?
No, no chance.
Do you know it?
If it was
I'm
in
not
English,
going to attempt.
if it was in English, it'd be thy, but it's like
apparently it means you in Danish.
okay.
Right. That's all I can say. But it's a farm distillery, quite small.
I have to say it. Like I've heard different versions of it. It's like. One of the guys in the middle. We watched a Danish guy on YouTube earlier trying to say it, and we both looked at each other like, "What do you say?" Duh.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a tiny wee distillery on it. It's a farm, kind of Kilchoman model, I think. It's all locally sourced barley. It's they're doing everything from their own farm, their own landscape.
Yeah.
Including the beechwood.
Organic barley. 8 generations on the farm.
Oh,
My goodness.
you've been doing your homework, Cal.
Yeah, you always say that.
Whereabouts exactly is it in Denmark? Tell us. Is it not in your notes?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it says on it. Somewhere, you want to read it exactly. Hold on, shush. Well, let's pretend that I'm not reading this, okay?
Okay.
The estate has been in the family for 8 generations since 1773. And
It's brilliant. He's got all this knowledge.
it stretches from the National Park on the North Sea into the agricultural land
No, but what area is it in?
Oh, I don't even know how you pronounce those words.
That's what I was wanting you to try.
Norha. Oh, vessel, but they've got weird, I don't know.
Thanks for that insight, Calum.
Yeah, well, I'm here
off the top of your head.
I'm here to lighten the mood and embarrass myself.
That's great. No, but it is an interesting dram,
Very interesting.
and I say it in a positive way.
It'd be really good to try this without knowing what it was. Because we're talking about those preconceptions earlier, and you're talking about like blind tastings, which is probably the best way to try whiskey. Some people find it intimidating because it's like, it's not a test. It's just like, what do you get? But with this, like, I knew what it was before I tried it, so instantly I was expecting it to be different, and right enough, it was different.
It sounded
If you chuck that into a tasting, you would still know it was different, but it'd be really intriguing because you'd be like, what the hell? What
it's
is
quite
this?
nice because it's an international distillery which is not, trying to copy what Scotch whisky is doing.
It's almost got a kind of grain quality to it as well. That kind of it's the cereal, sugary, sweet cereal notes to it.
Yeah, it's quite light as well.
It's a little bit buttery as well on the palate,
definitely.
ever so slightly.
Well, this is Distillery 153. Duncan did a piece
See how
for...
you do without your notes.
Well, not very well.
I think you do glasses as well because you're like.
I do. Duncan did a piece for March's magazine about the Society's international whisky. Duncan, how many international whiskies now?
There's a list.
Come on.
Should we try and name them? Countries?
No?
Or you talking about distilleries or countries?
30 was it?
Oh.
He's just making that up, isn't he?
50,
He's asleep up there. He's
50 international distilleries in 15 countries.
15 countries. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
50.
Gosh.
I mean, it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That includes,
Australia, Japan,
Well-
Denmark, Sweden,
so many now.
Taiwan, America.
But Duncan was
France,
reflecting also
Germany. No, not Germany.
how when we started doing any international whiskies, members apparently were like, "This is the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. How dare
Especially with Japanese whiskey as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
because that was one of the first, wasn't it?
you?" Yeah. Yoichi in 2002. Olaf tells a story of he was working in member services at the time. Members
Did
were
Olaf work in membership?
sending their cards cut in half
My goodness.
because they were so annoyed by the fact that the Scotch Malt Whisky Society was bottling Japanese whiskey. Now
They'd be biting your hand
they
off.
would be
for
biting
Japanese
your hand
whiskey.
off
Yeah.
for Japanese
They
whiskey.
do, absolutely.
There was Yoichi came out.
And it is probably the most desirable
Karuizawa.
international whiskey is from Japan. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be.
So, something for everyone. But
Just, yeah.
50 different international distilleries now.
I mean, I think it's great that there's such growth in whiskies worldwide, and and I think it helps us as well because we're still the original. So when people are exploring whiskies that haven't really tried them before in different countries, in their own countries, then it makes them
Definitely.
more likely to come and try Scotch.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, right. So that is 153.3 Dynamical Botanicals, £135. Something special, something a bit different.
That was introduced this one.
Yes.
Oh, what have we got here?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Distillery 60, one of my favourites. Compote in the Caribbean.
Nice.
Oh, second fill hybrid oak hogshead.
I love your enthusiasm.
I'm very enthusiastic about my whiskey.
Well, we're talking. I picked this out because I'm sure it's magic, but we're also talking in March about intriguing forms of cask maturation at the Society, right? So obviously there's like a huge inventory of casks. There's so much variety in terms of the different forms of wood that we mature whiskey in.
There's a wee bit of that, okay, yeah.
Thank you.
And there's always something a bit different to look out for. And this struck me as being a bit different because...
This is the hybrid cask, is it?
Yeah, it's a hybrid of American and European oak.
Yeah, so it's been in the bourbon first, and then it's been moved into this hybrid oak cask.
Yeah.
And it's literally, the staves are, one after the other,
Yeah.
they're built back together again, so we are, American and European side by side.
Yeah.
And then it's got new toasted heads on it, so like fresh oak as well. So that's going to have a massive influence on the whiskey.
Oh yeah.
What do they call it? Like a zebra cask, is that it? Because it's
I
got
think,
it's
yeah.
almost like stripes
That- yeah.
of different
That would make sense.
oak species
I love
to
it.
create the cask.
I mean,
It makes for a very beautiful cask and a beautiful whiskey
Yeah.
as well.
it's just so interesting because there's so many different influences
Yeah.
on the whiskey, and
Yeah.
so it's hard probably to pinpoint exactly what you're getting from what, but
Yeah.
for sure you're going to get complexity.
Indeed. It's like,
See, I've done
what
it again. I'm
should-
looking at the label and I was thinking about plums because of the colour, but I'm still getting that, I think.
Compote in the Caribbean.
There you go, yeah, it's mango,
Someone in the panel was getting into that. Where does this
Definitely.
whiskey take me?
definitely tropical in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You're not dancing with me, Richard?
No.
Come on.
I'll dance with
Here
you.
you go, Richard. It's only you that's not dancing to the Caribbean.
Got it down.
Somebody drop a beat. He's a miserable sod, that's what he is. I've not tried it yet, but it smells delightful.
Yeah.
Very fruity,
Yeah.
exotic, tropical fruit.
Yeah.
It is complex. I mean, it's one of these ones you could spend quite a lot of time trying to unpack it.
I mean, yeah, because
Do a bit of mindfulness.
when it changes when you hope, like your first initial taste when it goes and it hits your lips, and then it's got a really long finish on it. But
Yeah. What do you reckon, Lucy?
Oh, it's delicious.
I really like that.
Really fruity. It's almost like a nice fruit cordial. on the palate. On the nose at first, a wee bit more kind of like wood shaving, sawdusty, kind of new fresh oak, but definitely got that lovely like mango note, tropical and sweet.
That distillery, they're known for kind of producing a waxy, fruity spirit anyway.
Yes.
So they're definitely known for that kind of easy drinking style. But that's the kind of thing that's just my kind of go-to style. Got a sweet tooth, easy drinking, sweet, fruity.
Yeah, but this feels like
Lovely.
it's been ramped up to
Well, it definitely.
but it's totally different level.
But it's not too much,
Certainly
you know.
does. It's the kind of thing that I grew up smelling out my dad's glass.
Right, okay.
This is where this takes
I'm
me
going
back
back to this now. I'm getting like peaches and apricot and yogurt,
Yogurt, yeah.
Yeah, fruit yogurt.
or like even those yogurt raisins you get as well.
Like a wee Muller corner.
There's a lot going on in that.
Oh, you're not allowed to mention brands on here, I'm afraid. Let's say not unless they're going to give us some sponsorship.
Give us the big bucks.
Muller Corner. What one was it?
Strawberry.
Strawberry Muller Corners.
Although if my mum
perfect
was
with this
pushing the
whiskey.
boat out, the wee lemon like droplet ones, there's like wee lemon yogurt things. Oh, they were great.
I always had the ones that didn't have fruit in them. What are they called? Crunch Corners, are they? They
Yes.
had like little banana
Like the
biscuits
beads,
and
aye.
Oh.
It's not a fan of like these like
Yogurts.
packet yogurts.
Well, sorry. Says the guy that had a microwave lunch for today.
Nothing wrong with a microwave
Depends
lunch, I have
highbrow
to
and
admit.
clean living, but
There's a lot going on in that.
yeah, that is absolutely delicious. And every time you go back to it, it's different.
Yeah. Maybe it's because you know it's this hybrid cask and, you know, but...
Have we been talking about prices? What was that
Not
one?
really. £75.
I mean, I'm just asking because I quite fancied a lot of that.
Yeah.
Aye.
Well, that's an interesting example of cask maturation. And we've got another that I thought we should crack open because it's something a wee bit different as well. There, Calum, you crack that
It's
open.
always something a wee bit different with single cask whiskey, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yes.
So this is 88.33 Think Pink.
Think pink.
And I think we know what to expect in terms of colour because this is from a port cask.
Cask.
My favourite
Oh.
type of cask.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's
There we
been
go.
between port and red wine.
Right.
But as soon as I saw this bottle, I was like
yeah.
eyeing it up.
They're always popular. That's something you'll probably get that as well in the venues. People often ask for
mean,
red wine casks or
Look
port
at that
casks.
straight away.
We do, yeah.
It's got like a nice pinky orangey. It's kind of orangey hue to it, isn't it?
Yeah, pinky orange.
Yeah. So this is 15 years old. Sweet, fruity, and mellow flavour profile.
Oof.
88.33. So it's a Speyside distillery, and it's gone from bourbon and then to the final cask, which is a port barrique.
Yeah. Well, you can see the tasting panel come up with all kind of notes that are associated with pink stuff. Mm-hmm. Only pink stuff.
Whoa,
Yeah. You know, like marshmallows.
that is really striking on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like your wee strawberry laces.
Strawberry,
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely strawberry. Strawberry jam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
Jammy Dodgers.
we've had a really good lineup of whiskies.
Yeah, I know, really good.
Like, yeah.
I mean, in terms of the variety as
Yeah.
well, it's like,
Really
wow.
interesting. Well done, Richard. You picked some good ones.
You know,
Aye.
it's a hard job.
And this distillery originally was, you know, like a lot of distilleries, it was a kind of workhorse distillery for Diageo, but it's been really traditional. They've kept it, the process almost exactly the same since it first opened. So very traditional pot stills.
Yeah. A kind of unsung hero, I suppose.
Yeah.
that, we've been talking about quite a lot of these distilleries that you don't see so much of, if at all, with their own name on the bottle. But
Yeah.
But it's and also it's got a worm tub condenser.
oh,
So that's probably where you get that kind of floral fragrance from. You know, initially
Yeah.
they're going for a bit more sulphur, but over time in cask, then you get that lovely floral,
yeah.
fruity flavors.
It keeps it big and bold,
Yeah.
though, which I
Yeah.
Mm.
quite like.
I'm getting like a wee bit woody. I'm getting like kind of like pencil shavings, but
Yeah. School pencil case.
yeah.
A wee bit of the eraser on the top of your pencil as well.
I don't know if I'm just hopping off of our conversation for the last one, but like strawberry or raspberry yogurt. I'm in a yogurt mood today.
Yeah.
Your Muller, what do you call them? Muller root
Is that
yogurt.
Crunch Corner? Is that what it?
The crunchy corners, aye.
Can I beat it?
Quite biscuity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good. So you go for like the port, the wine casks. We've
I
seen
do,
more of those
yes.
coming through.
We are, yes. It's one that I'm not a red wine drinker in the slightest,
Okay.
and I didn't have port until I think just last year. But it was a few years ago. My friend at Queen Street, Nicola, you'll see her on reception, friendly face as you go in, was like, you need to try a red wine cask matured whiskey. And I was like, oh, you like red wine, it'll be your thing. I've never looked back. Absolute favourite thing. So I credit her entirely. Thank you, Nicola, for introducing me to red wine cask matured whiskies.
Well, we got Julian from the whisky team to write about this, so that's also a feature in March, talking about some of these more unusual casks. The whisky team was over in France recently on a kind of cask sourcing mission to some of the wine houses.
I've got a feeling that they might be visiting somewhere in this sort of region in the near future, looking at so we might see some more of these type of casks coming in. Not too distant future. Which is very exciting.
Cool,
Very
'cause obviously
exciting.
We've upped our game so much in terms of sherry casks, but now it's like going beyond sherry. We'll always have the sherry casks, but there's other forms of wine, sweet wine, you know, and this is tremendous.
We listen to our members and we
always listen to our members. Well, you're Mr. Member Services, Calum. You're in the front line.
I'm the members champion.
Is that what you call it? We've got another interesting one I picked out. I don't think we'll crack it open because we've got a couple more to get through, but this is 11.57 writing desk transposition.
We were just talking about stationery notes, rubbers and pencils and that stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of a theme happening here. All the whiskies seem to be interlinked somehow, don't they?
Yeah, I was about to say that there's a theme going on.
Yeah.
I love a theme. Every tasting I take, there has to be a theme to it, and it's even if it's just weird, wacky, and wonderful. I did one that was like, so we have at the vaults one Thursday a month our Coos and Booze, always a sellout event.
That's like steak and whiskey, right?
It is indeed. It's a phenomenal night, and one of my colleagues says, this is where our regulars really get to know you. I says, great, let's do a whiskey themed to me. So it's all whiskies themed to like different little things I could tell them about myself, my career, who I am.
Right.
Of course, one of them warm and toasty. Toast. So I do like to have fun with my tastings with it as well, but I love a wee theme, so I do.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier on, you know, like obviously we're here to talk about whiskey and there's so much to talk about, but a lot of time whiskey is just a means for, you know, socialising and stimulating conversation. So you don't have to just talk about whiskey, and it'll lead you off in different directions, and we'll have lots of different conversations. Like, I hate to say it, but it can get a bit boring if you only talk about whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, let's talk about whiskey, Calum. Tell us about HTMC casks.
And now he's putting me on the spot. They are, what did Duncan say? He said high toast, medium char?
Heavy toast, medium char.
Not me.
Has he got it wrong?
He got it wrong. He's not happy now. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a speciality for the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, heavy toast, medium char. It's one of our sort of signature kind of cask treatments.
I don't see other whiskey companies
I didn't
about
really
HTMC.
realise that you don't see it that often, but it's something we do a lot, and it's really popular. And again, a bit like we were talking before with the hybrid cask, it's something that brings a lot of complexity. You get your toast, which you probably associate with sherry casks. You get charring, which is probably more appropriate with American oak, bourbon, ex-bourbon casks. So you're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Your spice, your sweetness, vanillas. You sure you don't want to crack it open?
No, because we've got too much to drink. No, but we see quite a lot of them, and as you say, they're always popular.
Yes.
And it feels like a bit of a society speciality. So HTMC.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend. Yeah. No, I would crack it open, but I wanted to get on to this new release in our Heresy series of small batch creations by the whisky team. Take that, Lucy. I will grab a glass. So this is an Irish whiskey being released for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and it's a similar concept to what we released last year for St. Patrick's Day, which was the Shimmering Silk. They're both
Steady, Calum.
they're both from a vintage whiskey brand called. Yes, I can see that, can't I?
Yeah.
because we're not saying the name of the distillery. So
No, I think we're very open, and I
this
think
distillery is the custodians of this
on the
vintage
label.
Irish brand, which was one of the biggest whiskey names in the world at the time.
it says on the label.
Does it say on the label?
Our friends at Dunville's
Dunville's.
Irish whiskey.
Yeah, so it was a huge whiskey back in the day, and they're custodians of it, and they brought it back, similar sort of style. The last one we had, I actually can't remember what kind of cask it was, but this one is Palo Cortado.
Yes.
Which is quite a rare style of sherry.
Yes.
Because initially it's a sherry that has started off life as intended to be a Fino or a Amontillado, but then for some unknown reason, why are you looking like that?
I'm just wondering if you need
I'm
your
not even
notes.
looking at my notes. Shut up, Richard. I'm not. Are you telling me?
That was good. I was dead
Yeah,
convincing.
you put me off.
It was like it's all in your head, Calum.
I'm not telling you anything. Like I can't win if I don't do any studying, right? Then he gives me a hard time, and I do studying, and then he gives me a hard time.
It was great. Where were we?
First, okay, I'll jump back into it. But for some unknown reason, can you believe that the floor, the yeast on top of the sherry, it disappears, and we don't know why?
Off.
Isn't that unusual?
It's a mystery.
And this only happens to 1 or 2% of those grapes that are initially used in that process. Yeah. Where am I going now?
Keep going.
So actually, it starts. The oxidization starts to happen.
Yeah.
So it starts developing much like an Oloroso would.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a hybrid, I would say.
Okay.
Between like Amontillado and perhaps Oloroso. So it's got the freshness of Amontillado and it's got the richness of Oloroso.
Okay. Do you know what Palo Cortado means?
Oh no, Richard! I'd love for you to tell me.
It means cut stick, because you know in the sherry world they mark their casks with a mark to signify what style of sherry it is.
What, on the outside of the can?
Like a bit of chalk.
Yeah.
So if it's Fino, they'll just put a line, right? And that's how you identify it. And the other forms of sherry get different marks. on the cask.
So they don't write Fino; they just write a.
They just do a line,
Uh-huh.
right? And then if the Fino is no longer developing as a Fino, and the floor has broken up and it starts to oxidize, they're like that. Okay, that's not a Fino anymore. So they put a line across the existing line, and that is the cut stick.
Cut stick.
So Palo is the stick, and Cortado is like cut. So that it's just the market like that.
Every day's a school day.
There you go. Palo.
That actually is quite interesting. I have to say.
It's very
Well done,
interesting.
Yeah, that's my contribution. Palo Cortado.
Here we are.
Nice, isn't it? And we don't see a lot of, we're always talking about Oloroso, we're always talking about Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah.
But
We're all
Palo
about
Cortado.
we're all about variety at the society,
Yeah.
right? So the fact that we're drinking something again completely different. What a lineup we've had! Wow,
Been a really good lineup.
Would you
Yeah.
what's the lineup for you?
Lovely nose.
Because it's sherry,
Very
but
sweet.
it doesn't have that,
It's sherry, but not as we know it.
it's not got that
Do you want me to do that again, Duncan?
nuttiness of an
It's
Oloroso.
sherry, but not as. I'm talking here
It is
to the
like
camera.
Right,
Hold on.
Go ahead.
It's sherry, but not as we know it.
This is when he starts playing up a wee bit. He's had a couple of wee sips. It's like that, right?
I heard him snigger, and that just got me going. I was like, I start acting up.
This is my time in front of the camera now. Brilliant.
I was watching him today at his desk, and all he was doing was watching videos of himself.
That was work.
That's true, though, right?
It was work. Well, now you mention it, that video that I was watching is a highly anticipated documentary about the creation of flavour in whiskey. Coming out in March
And who's
on our
highly
YouTube
highly
channel.
anticipated by our 10 viewers on the Whisky Talk channel?
Duncan and me.
I mean, I know it'll be good.
Check it out on our SMWS Silver Screen YouTube channel. It's actually good because we went to the Portleaf Distillery,
Amazing.
which is fantastic. Have you been there?
I have, yes.
It's just tremendous because it's a vertical
Are
distillery.
you going to have sale down it?
No, I don't think so.
You see
Very
that?
tempted to.
No way. Anyway, they do the production process vertically, you know? So you're able to really easily follow the whole production process and talk about flavour and where it comes from at each stage of the process. And the guys at Portleaf are fantastic because they're really into
They're nice guys, yeah.
the kind of scientific side of things, the creation of flavour and the yeasts that they're using, the fermentation, they're really into it.
Yeah.
We've got a brilliant distiller,
Let's call him V,
Call him
in
V.
case you get his name wrong.
Yeah. Anyway.
You find that a lot with new distilleries though, because well, there's pretty stiff competition out there. They've got distilleries that have been going for hundreds of years, right? So if you're a new kid in the block, you've got to make sure that you're doing something. One, it's going to be a little bit different from what other people are offering. So it's got, your USP.
Yeah.
But I think they're fascinating new distilleries.
So we went there and we kind of looked at each stage of the process and how it creates flavour. And then we reflected on what the society did 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, to bring this single cask whiskey in its purest form to the market, really for the first time. And then we move on to maturation and talking about some of this stuff about the variety of forms of maturation that the society is able to do. So it's all come together. It's about 20 minutes of just incredibly compelling viewing.
Content.
Oh, it's just amazing. So
I look forward to watching it.
Well, you have to watch it. Rich will be asking you if you've watched it.
yeah, I'll be asking everyone.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Brilliant.
Have you watched me?
Brilliant documentary.
I'm pure dead
The
brilliant.
only thing that's lacking, Calum, is your presence.
No, I've been doing certain things, I think.
Wow. But that's very nice. So that's the
That's nice of you to say though, Richard.
You
give me a compliment
I didn't
there.
really mean it.
Oh, I didn't really mean it. Good.
So that's the latest Heresy release, Caramel Cascade.
What do you think? We have what are you getting from this?
Wow.
Have we talked about the flavours again? I mean, the picture here. So, caramel Cascade is literally like a waterfall of caramel. Are you getting these caramel flavours?
I am. I certainly am. Yeah.
How could you not?
Are you
If it's
floating
called
on a
Caramel
boat?
Cascade and there's a waterfall of caramel on the label, it's kind of hard to say. No. I'm not getting any caramel there.
Well, you could, because we all get different things. So
Yeah.
But I mean, initially, the colour. I mean, the label is pretty much the same colour as the whiskey, isn't it? I mean, it's a fabulous, strong caramel colour.
Yeah. I think it had a good length of time in the Palo Cortado casks. I think it had 5 years. So,
wow.
it wasn't just a quick finish or anything like that. This has been sitting in the sherry casks for quite a long time.
This is one that Julien really fought for.
All right.
Because we had different samples, and I think we all voted for a different one, and he just kept saying, no, we've got to go for this one.
Okay.
And it's, and he made it, he was right. He was absolutely right. It's perfect.
It's tremendous.
It's really, really nice. Really easy drinking as well.
Yeah.
Really easy drinking.
Yeah, easy drinking.
It's got a nice thick texture to it as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, that's the latest Heresy, and it's out for St. Patrick's Day on the 17th of March. Irish whiskey to, raise a glass to St. Patrick. Last one is something a wee bit different as well for the society. 8.47 Slippers and Chill, and we've got a wee stamp on it for members review. Do you know anything about this?
I do, yes. We have it down at the vaults. It's gone down quite well.
That's right. We put it in venues first to kind of gauge reaction. All right, tell us what the reaction's been.
It's gone down quite well. I mean, it is a lower ABV at 48%. £48 as well.
Yep.
Absolute bargain of a bottle. Yep. We were giving out little kind of sheets, little kind of bits to fill in, where we would ask for people's opinion as well. Yeah. And so far feedback's been amazing about it. Okay. We've not had that kind of, but it's not cask strength. I mean, of course, jokingly a little bit, but mostly it's been,
it is a sensitive topic, I guess, and we again want to make sure that our members are on board with it, because it is something different from what we're used to. But I mean, it's still was it 48%?
Yeah,
48.
I mean, that's still like still firewater, I'm like swapping here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first time we've done some. I mean, the Heresy bottles are different because they're small batches and they're, I think, almost always diluted to 50% Heresy, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're cask strength. So this is the first time we've done a bottling and made it available single cask at 48%. So we've put a stamp on it for members review. So it's a wee experiment, I suppose.
Where did the name Slippers and Chill come from? Is that? I think that's a nod to Netflix and chill.
Maybe it smells like slippers.
It's okay. Richard doesn't get that, and so most people probably won't.
Even I get that.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Even I get that.
But it's probably I get burnt toffee with this. So I'm almost the slipper connotation. I'm thinking about an old grandpa with his Werther's Originals or his toffees. sitting in his armchair having a wee whiskey
Oh, aye.
with his slippers on.
Yep. I think that's the vibe though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a kind of
Armchair
totally
whiskey.
relaxing. I'm not having to work too hard here. You know, I'm not putting myself to the test. This is a very relaxing whiskey.
I
So
think
I've got the
so,
slippers on, I'm chilling out, and I'm just enjoying a whiskey without having to say, oh, what am I getting here? It's just a nice whiskey.
Yeah, I found that as well. It's one I always go to kind of recommend where people are like, you know, I'll go into, oh, this is great. You know, it's like this, this, and this, and how about this? And they're like, I just want a whiskey. I'm
Yeah.
like, have this one, sit
Yeah.
back, relax, take the armchairs by the fire,
Yeah.
chill out.
And it's, you know, it's full sherry maturation, and this
Yeah.
distillery is known for
Yeah.
that style of whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
8 years old, so
Yeah, 48 quid.
bargain, mate.
I would say.
Absolute bargain.
Oh,
That's all right.
one thing I forgot to say is, I don't know if you've noticed, but this bottle is got a slightly slower fill than the rest of it, because Richard actually
angel share.
took it home for a bit of, I think he was saying it was homework, and he brought it in. Normally we open the bottles on camera, but this is the first time we haven't, Richard. Would you like to explain yourself at
Well,
all?
I will explain myself, because we were doing some photography with the bottle at the vaults.
And that was your chance to grab the bottle.
So we've got to do some pours, and sometimes you've got to do it a few times to
Did either of you witness this?
get the right
photography?
shots. So before you know it, Calum, before you know it, you've taken a bit of whiskey out of the bottle.
Okay.
And then I had to take it home for safekeeping before bringing it in here today. And that's
I just
just,
thought they could have given you a
That's
new
just-
bottle to open in camera.
you know, I was just looking after it.
At it.
And I did have to do
You obviously like it.
another wee taste test just to make sure it was,
To remind yourself that it was still
it wasn't
really
flawed,
good.
it wasn't corked or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
It's a hard life, eh?
it's fine. It's good whiskey.
Cheers to that.
Right, cheers. Lucy,
Cheers.
thank you very much for coming in.
You're very welcome.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for having
insights.
me.
We look forward to the Dramaste tastings, to
Dramaste.
Dramaste, to the cat tastings, to the dog tastings, and anything
A combination of all of them at the same
anything
time.
else you've
Oh
got
my
up your
goodness,
sleeve.
yes.
No. So cheers, and happy drinking in March. Here's
Happy
to
St. Patrick's Day.
happy
Spring is on his way.
Happy International Women's
Happy
Day.
International Women's Day,
Happy
yeah.
International Women's Day, of course.
And, happy
And International Whiskies Day. God, there's so many celebrations in March. It's unbelievable.
Anyway, cheers.
Good times.